the girls sing California, hoping it's going to come true. There's not a lot I can do. Could we have keepers for breakfast? Mommy dear, they got to have them in Texas.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for coming to this brief chat. The name is Bioeconomy Meet Textile, that is organized inside the conference Cluster Meet Region, co-organized and hosted by our friends in Iasi. Today's session is part of our annual umbrella event dedicated to what we call Ingredients for Sustainability, in which we try to connect the dots between many of the teams and projects we are working in the TCBL community. TCBL Association is an association that is a perfect example of what we call exploitation after a European project. The Textile and Clothing Business Labs project ended in 2018, and a group of valuable friends, colleagues, and partners built up this association in order to keep on working on innovation in the textile and clothing sector. Before starting with a brief presentation of one of these this project we are running now, I would like to introduce Mr. Giuseppe Croce, that is president of Federcanapa, because thank you for waiting us, because he has a flight to take, so I will introduce him and give the floor. Thank you.
Thank you to you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the hurry, but you can understand. Federcanapa is an Italian association born 7 years ago to promote with a mission to promote and develop industrial hemp value chains in Italy. I have to say we didn't have success until now because we are still in an emerging situation for hemp in Italy. Forse di qua. On the contrary. Okay. Sorry. We are member of Lombardy cluster, or Lombardy hub in rural bio-hub project that you knew this morning. And we are partners in a hemp club project. Hemp and textile is a long history from is a long history from centuries and centuries. Hemp was cultivated for textile sector and paper sector, mainly for these two applications. And for textile, I mean fashion, I mean furniture, but also sails and also ropes. And in Europe, there were many countries growing hemp. Between the main countries, I can mention Russia, Italy, Hungary, and Romania. These four, I think, were the first producers of hemp fiber in Europe until the half of the late century, at the Second World War period. After that period, hemp declined in every country in Europe except France, and I can say in the world. for two main problems. One was this problem. A traditional way of growing and transforming industrial hemp required a lot of manual work. And this was affordable until there were the big rural families before the Industrial Revolution, before the Second Industrial Revolution, I mean, after the Second World War, with we call in Italy the boom. And the other problem, the main problem, was the drug policy from United States, but from many world countries in the world. And hemp was practically banned from the cultivation. Now, in the last decades, there is a new interest for hemp due to main factors. The first is the environmental concerns. And the new policies, as the European Green Deal, the bioeconomy transition, because hemp has a crucial role for the bioeconomy transition, because it can involve many industrial sectors offering material renewable every year, so better than wood from this point of view. A material technically very interesting from different point of view, and the material that is biodegradable. For these three characteristics, hemp fits the target of the bioeconomy. And the second factor of success was the discovery of many other properties of hemp. Not just the fiber, but also the seeds, the nutritional properties of the seeds, and also the healthcare properties of many active principles in the flower, starting from the cannabinoids not psychotropic, the cousins of THC, of marijuana, but that are no psychotropic, beginning from CBD, the cannabidiol. This is the most present in a great percentage in the industrial crops, in the industrial hemp straws varieties. And fortunately, it changed also the technique to work with hemp, starting from the way of cutting and raccogliere, come si dice? Harvesting, the cutting and harvesting hemp, because if you want a good fiber, you must collect, you must harvest hemp stalks in a certain manner. For instance, we don't have until now equipment fitted to transform long stalks of hemp that can measure more than 2 or 3 meters. And so we use normally the equipment for flax, because flax is much more sprawled in Europe, European agriculture. So we must cut the stalks, and we must collect in a parallel way, ordinately. So you can put them, the stalks cutted in the equipment for scratching, and, or in other words, separating fiber from the lignocellulosic part or sheaves, called sheaves. These sheaves have another very important market that it was not known in the past century, starting from building sector. With the sheaves, you can create hempcrete, hemp blocks, hemp bricks, and these materials are growing. This material have a growing importance in the building sector in all Europe. This is a new machine from Belgium, developed in the last years. Until last year was a prototype, now is complete, and it is used firstly from a great cooperative, French cooperative, Laine Chanvre Bio. They are organic growers, and they use this machine. The pity is it costs a lot of money, more than 400,000 euros. So it's not fitted for little farmers as in Italy, and I think as in many other European countries. But it works very well. This is always this machine called Heiler. And after the cutting of hemp stalks, you must leave. Normally, in Normandy, they used to do so. They must live on the ground, on soil, for almost 3 weeks or a month or more for retting that facilitates the separation of the fiber from the lignocellulosic part. But not everywhere natural retting works. We have many doubts that in Southern Europe this method works. We can use chemical or enzymatic methods that accelerate a lot the period of retting. You can ret in also just in 48 hours. But in this case, you have more expenses. And after the retting, you can collect and harvest the stalks and put in machine like this. This is an old deporter, is a Belgian machine used by the same cooperative I called before, the French cooperative I called before. There is a lot of interest, a growing interest in the textile sector for hemp now, in these last years, not just for fashion, but also for technical textile and also for furniture. The problem, we'll see, is the availability of the raw material, of a good raw material. Today, we can use all the fiber transformed during the scratching process, because we have a certain percentage, a little percentage of long fiber fitted for fashion or for paper recycling, because also paper industry is requesting good fibers for reinforce the paper recycled after 4 or 5 cycles. They need good fiber, a long fiber. You can use also the so-called byproducts of long fiber. So the short fiber, for instance, 10 centimeters, using wool method for fashion, for furniture, non-woven, building insulation, or for composites. And this is very interesting because you can use short fiber not only from the cultivation for fashion that must be collected very early during the crop cycle, but you can harvest the stalks after, in autumn, when you have also the seeds. So you have two products, seeds and, three products. Seeds, stalks means fiber and sheaves, and also the green residual that are rich, that are still rich in active principles. If you collect for long fiber, for fashion, for quality fiber, you can use just the top for at the beginning of the flowering. And in this case, you won't have a lot of active principles, but you have already also, in this case, an interesting percentage of CBD. I speak mainly for CBD and for terpenes. And ultimately, you can use also cottonized fiber, so very short fiber. And this is very interesting for the problem that textile industry have to afford in this period. I mean, the recycle, the separation and the recycle of waste fiber, waste tissue. And the problem is, especially for mixed fibers, for instance, cotton and polyester, we can think to substitute polyester with a hemp in the recycling. This is very interesting for me from my point of view. To this problem, we dedicate, many of them already knows this event. We'll make an event in Padua at the end of February, 27 and 29, no, it's wrong, 26 and 28 of February, dedicated to circular solution for textile value chains, design, disintegration, sorting, this was the word, I was sorting, the fiberation, recycling. We'll speak about concrete solutions. We want to show technical solution for these different issues. And we'll talk also in a workshop in the first day about eco-design and life cycle assessment, because they are two methods very important to obtain a renewable tissue, to obtain a real circular economy in the textile sector. And the second day will be a conference dedicated to ideas and solutions. We launch an innovation prize dedicated to researchers, to students, to startups, because we want also promote innovation in this field, and an exhibit of some solution, some technical solution. And the last day we'll visit a factory near Padua, who is used to recycle fibers for furniture sector. Well, I think I finish with this. Thank you for your attention. If you are interested, you have our site, our website, our email, or also a call, a cell number. Thank you. If you have questions, Mr. Pierre?
There are questions from the audience? Okay, so one question.
Thank you very much. Do you have cooperatives of farmers to process the hemp, or there are different small companies? How it sort this in Italy?
Unfortunately, in Italy, we have little small companies. There is no tradition of cooperatives like in France. I think one of the success factors in France for hemp is the cooperative model that is working since many decades. And in Italy, we had two cooperative examples in the hemp field, but they failed, not just for cooperative model, but because the cycle was not, they tried to use the same method they use in Normandy, in the north of France, and didn't work in Italy.
I've seen there that you show us equipment from Belgium, the porter.
The equipment was an old porter. No, processing. Was the porter equipment, yes.
And it's working, this equipment?
Yes.
And it's possible to multiply?
Yes.
Or to make a contact with the... it's a very old company, no. And the principle of this equipment is old.
The porter, I think, has changed the logo, they changed the name. Now, for instance, there is La Roche, has a very good equipment, and there are other companies, Belgian companies and one French company that have industrial solutions. They were built for flax processing, but they work well also for hemp, and French growers started to use this type of. And after there is a lot of prototypes in southern France, in Italy, of small prototypes that will be better for little farmers, but I cannot say how much they work there. And remember, if we speak about textile, about construction, about other sectors, we need a lot of hemp, and we need industrial equipment, great equipment.
For large quantity, yeah. Thank you.
And they ask for standard quality, the availability all the year of raw material and so on.
Just a small question. If we want in the future to push the cooperation between the rural section, so the growers and so on, the transformers, and the textile sector, in your opinion, which are the major challenges and gaps we have to fulfill in order to push
in this
the
case,
use of...
We have no regulation challenges, fortunately. We have technical challenges. For instance, in Italy, we don't have until now a real facility, industrial facility. So if there is no industrial facility, there's no real industrial demand from these sectors, and there is no production of from farmers, because we have a lot of requests from farmers. They want to grow hemp next year. But I'm a little embarrassed to say, yes, grow hemp. And after, what do you do with this hemp? How do you sell this hemp? So there are chances, for instance, for hemp seed production, for hemp seed food. But if you don't have an industrial equipment for first processing, the industrial facility, there's no possibility to have a value chain, a real value chain in this sector, textile, buildings. And this is a problem because, for instance, we have many constructors they produce hempcrete, but they import sheaves from France or from other countries.
I think that could be two models. On the small one, for small farm, for few farmers, small area, with small capacity primary processing.
Yes,
Prototypes.
you can.
And there to separate fiber, long and short, for textile industry, and the sheaves and the other secondary products to be pressed and sale. And if you have in your mind, for especially for construction, to be the large area, 100 or 1,000 square meter, and there to have equipment, industrial scale, preliminary processing for large capacity like La Roche or other. So small and big are both necessary.
Yes, you can have two steps processing. Firstly, you obtain a raw fiber, yeah. But you can obtain a good sheave for construction needs. And after, to give this raw fiber to a major facility, to a greater facility, to produce good quality fiber. But I didn't see this model really applied until now. I know there's a little cooperative in France, in the middle of France, in West France, and they produce just for a building sector with a small facility.
The decortication facility.
The cortication. In this case, is the cortication facility.
Not for textile.
Not fitting for textile because you obtain a raw fiber. You obtain a raw fiber, but if you work well the sheaves, you powder, you guarantee no powder in the sheaves, and a standard measure of these sheaves is fitting for building sector.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I know that you have to leave. So thank you again, and thank you again, and we keep on going on our presentation. I'm going back to the TCBL Association that is a community that has co-organized this event and this meeting. So the mission is linked to the rise and of a community of like-minded innovators, and companies committed to support and drive the change of the textile and clothing industry and sector. As I told before, today we would like to present one of our projects that is running in this period that will end next year, that is Hereware. I think that the Earware project in its development need something more, and this is the idea to connect with the bioeconomy sector and world, because Earware works on different solution for biorefineries, local biorefineries, and we can start from this. This is a draw made by Feng Xiaoge in her thesis that could represent well the material flow of fibers and clothing going from east to west countries, and then come back to often to finish in the landfills in India and Bangladesh. That represents what is now the global world of logistic production of fibers and textiles. Our project would like to develop and implement a different concept, that is to work locally. So to try to build and support local supply chain and local value chain in textile and clothing. This is you see this this slide with the project in the middle with the three basic concepts, that is to say local, bio-based, and circular, because really here we're trying to create a local-based circular supply chain from locally produced rural waste. Bio-based. The project tried to develop two types of cellulosic material, especially from straw, seaweed, and manure, suitable for wet spinning in particular. Circular. The project is implementing digital tools for monitoring the process, coordinating local short-run production of garments, tracking raw materials for the wool life cycle of the material, and again also the garments, working locally again, and also to support repair practices and support this. Our model is the creation of a bioregion when all the supply chain is possibly present, from the growers to the producer, and all these supply chain should be also close to the final customer. This is another important output of Earware project, that is the sample collector. The idea behind this collection is to understand the materials and the potential of the materials, and the potential of the materials towards the clothing production. We gathering a collection of approximately 80 samples. I don't know if I'm saying right, which represent a different example of what the bio-based materials can be and look like and feel like. And we end and we close the loop, we can say, with these challenges, because we really feel for the future and for the exploitation of Earware project to keep on working on our solution, but meeting with the another sector that is very close to us, and where we need to find the rural waste. And so it is important to meet this sector, and for this reason we organize a short roundtable that we will try to we will open the discussion in few minutes in order to find a possible solution, or starting a discussion about possible solution, and in order to close or to go and fight, we can say, these challenges. So it is important to starting to find a way to engage the rural community and co-design with them, because we know that there are big brands, big companies that are trying to engage and work with the rural world, with growers. Especially there are a few pilots we can see in Bangladesh, in India, but the way is we can see top down. On the other way, we want to cooperate and co-create with the rural world, connecting our solution, but not only our solution coming from our project, but all the bioraffineries that are on the ground with the textile value chains. And we know that there are a lot of challenges, and the road is very long and winding. This is more something linked with policies and funding, and aligning our activities with the rural and regional innovation policies. Just to another thing that I told before, that is a series of events organized by TCBL. I would like to invite all the audience here and also on the web to follow us and to participate to another event that will be held November 13 with the title "Can Fashion Ever Be Sustainable?" Join us, and thank you very much. I'm here if you have some questions about the Earwear project. Okay, if not, I would like to invite yes, my colleagues, Caterina, Diana, Beppe Croce is going, Anka, Kevin, Elvis.
We come with the chairs, you know.
To have a little movement of this situation. We'll try to, there's another. So before I ask you to make a very small intervention and, sorry, not intervention, presentation of you.
Yes. So I am Caterina Iasi, founder and CEO of Carne Fashion, innovative SME from northeast part of Romania. I present our innovation. Yeah. And in Earwear, I'm an expert from TCBL Association, and I just want to mention, like a resume of Earwear presentation, that we are still hoping, together with the Hemp Crop Association from Romania and Caneparo cluster, to find and partners from the project also, to find the way to locally bring a bioraffinery, yes, for the near to the hemp crops, and close the circular loop exactly from here where results further. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kevin Ryan. I work as a project manager at Irish Bioeconomy Foundation. This is a non-profit organisation located in Tipperary in Ireland. I'm currently working on Rural Bio Project, and this is helping rural areas promote bio-based solutions through studying of particular value chains and providing services such as the organisation of networking events and study visits to provide rural areas with further information on bioeconomy and bio-based solutions that they can implement themselves in those areas. So yeah, thanks for having me here.
Good afternoon, my name is Anka. I'm a local. I'm a co-founder of MyBine, an organization aiming at capacity building for sustainability, part of the Hereware consortium, and as well co-founder of Redu, a green social enterprise that aims at reducing the textile waste and creating new products out of it, as well as raising awareness on the negative impact of this industry.
Hi, hi everyone. My name is Elvis Sandu. I'm a colleague with Anka at MyBine, also the president and also the co-manager together with Andrea in the public of Redu. And yeah, she already told the missions of our businesses.
Thank you. So my first question for Kevin, and where is this rural waste? So we are able to map the production, how the growers use the waste, and so on. So could you briefly explain this word and how the textile industry can approach this rural world where, thank you.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, so the biomass can be produced through the farm. Yeah, so instead of it being waste, it should be looked at and valorized. So that's the whole point on the Rural Bio project that we're working on, is different solutions to use this biomass to increase the sustainability as well as the economic viability of the biomass. So, for example, we, in particular in the Tipperary region, are focusing on dairy. So any kind of dairy waste, including dairy sludge, manure, how to valorize this into other products. So, for example, whey permeate, which comes from the milk, can be fermented to produce bio-based chemicals, which can be used in the production of bioplastics or biomaterials.
Okay, thank you. I have another question for you, because there are many questions about this sector. Do you think that there is an interest, or is now not coming to surface about the rural world to find the textile sector as a way to exploit their production, or as a way to use their waste, or do you see that they are more looking on other type of sector, like the building sector and so on?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, I suppose the primary production sector in general, I think originally was a bit wary of the term bioeconomy, and because it generally means that it's sustainable, and they're often badly represented by the media as being the cause of climate change due to methane emissions. But I think there is a growing interest in the bioeconomy within the primary production sector through outreach programs and providing general information. So this could include the textile industry for valorizing their waste streams.
Kati, do you think that the textile and clothing sector is ready to introduce, if there are the possibility materials that come from the rural waste or biomaterials and so on, and with the situation of the industry of clothing in particular?
If we speak generally, yes, like we saw in the first part of the day, two projects that this is what they are doing. They are trying to, on one side, to find on the stakeholders the needs, to see some of the good practices existing and just synergize between them to create value chains that are circular, are digital, are nearly to zero waste. And also in the other project where hubs are created, like the one in our region, that they take the stakeholders that are willing to offer their time and they innovate as best as possible and link together again to close and come with innovative solutions for closing these value chains. Also, I'm grateful here that we have Caneparo with us. It's a cluster, hemp cluster association, because one biomass that we have in our region, beside waste from other cultures, because it's not only the hemp, this is what is their mission and their willing and efforts together to try and close these value chains, and hopefully with yourselves, yes, between the Hereware, between their initiatives and all the other initiatives and with universities, we are able to actually incentivize, find, build the basic infrastructures to build from, that we close the value chains from crops, from waste to the textile. Some, like hemp, for example, some will be able to use for fashion, some will be able to use for technical textile, as the Italian man presented on his cluster. And hemp, for example, we can use it in its entirety. So goes in many other sectors. So from a biomass like this, like hemp, an entire region can flourish with all sectors developed. So I think this is an absolute great possibility, and I'm going to come back on Hereware because I am so hopeful that the results from there and the work our partners might be done there together with TCBL and other partners will succeed to actually make that local, yes, bio-based value chains together with our partners and the support with Quadruple Helix, including Regional Development Agency, and we've to find together that synergies to go further on exactly what you mentioned, the bio-based, using the waste also, and create value chains, textile, fashion, and also the other sectors which are with history in our regions, because each region is different.
Yes, thank you. And for Maybine, which is your perspective? As Kati said, your experience in the project working with new this idea of creating biorefineries in locally, and also the contact with design, the creativity, and so on.
So the fabrics are, or some of them are already here, the bio-based fabrics. We have some examples, rayon, modal, and they have a very promising, I don't know, future in use for fashion, for wearing, and the possibility of building biorefineries, for at the moment at least, it's a little bit far away from my knowledge, but it's a possibility. I know. I mean, we should at least probe and see if there is an opportunity for it, because we have the biomass, of course. So.
Yeah, maybe I can add. I mean, I will add. First of all, I want to say that I was surprised to see my name there. I thought that when I registered, I thought that I I'm registered for the workshop to take part, not to be in the panel, but hopefully I can contribute. And now, since I have the mic, I want to. My first thoughts were to play the devil's advocate and an angel advocate. So the devil's advocate would be to speak from my perspective as a consumer, because I co-founded these two entities, the NGO and the Green Social Enterprise, from the need for alternatives, ethical alternatives for consumption as a consumer. So from this side, I will say that first we have to need to use what we have already there, as mentioned by Elvis, and maybe it's redundant, but as well that we have to prohibit the amount of waste, of the synthetic waste already generated. And then yes, I think it's very valuable, the pioneering approach of Hereware that already tries to build on materials that are only based on bio waste. So that will be the devil's advocate. And then it will be, I know we are not used with this angel's advocate approach, but I want to mention when I registered, I was very motivated because I'm very close with the subject of bioeconomy. And I think it's worth mentioning that this term was coined in the 70s by a Romanian-American mathematician that is very much appreciated outside, not locally. I call it an angel because he's not living anymore. It's Nicolae Georgescu-Roegen, and he spoke in one of his books. He mentioned that bioeconomy will be the language that will all speak in this century. He's considered now the intellectual founder of ecological economics, but he was stressing as well, he was advocating for degrowth. That's why I was noting here some words that I heard today, like valorizing the bio-waste, using it, optimizing, increasing efficiency. And he was stressing on this, not challenge, but this very high risk that we will rather, instead of ecologize the economy, we economize the nature, the nature. Yeah. And to avoid this risk when we speak about bioeconomy, in order to be genuine about our, aim for a sustainable future in this industry.
Yes, I agree. Is exactly what I said before, that big corporations are trying to do the same, but as we see in the past with greenwashing and pinkwashing, every washing, the risk is there. So our perspective is working with the rural world and not to pushing them to create alternative solutions that are only valuable for the big industry. We know big industry is there, as said this morning. We are in a global world. But I think that we need to find many solutions, a big range solution that could be on the menu, and every territory, for example, on a regional side in Europe, can then choose the best way and for their citizens also to exploit the economy of the region and to grow. There is many ways to grow. Yes, there's many ways to grow. There is the big company way, but I think that we have. Maybe it's not the solution for everything, but in my opinion, it's important to find a different solution. One last question for everybody. So what do you think is the major challenges and gaps that innovators, research, but also companies have to fulfill in order to produce an impact in the future years? For sure, about the marriage between bioeconomy and textile, from your perspective.
For example, in regards to hemp biomass, yes, which we wanted to actually close the value chain, the first challenge was the legal the legal prohibition for hemp, because in the government they don't understand the difference between the hemp for industrial hemp and cannabis. Yeah, so this is one huge challenge which I hope will be overcome through lobbying with all the European organizations for hemp, and this is what the cluster board members they're doing and directors, and I hope that will happen soon. And another very important, I don't know if I will tell challenge, but I think what you just mentioned, if we really want to make a change, we have to start from our strengths, connect between partners at the local, regional, national, European level, those with the same mindset, and start building, as we did in the project in the morning in here, where building step by step really infrastructures that can support others that they cannot support themselves in this innovation, digitization, circular economy, and bio-based value chains. This is my opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think the public perception of the bioeconomy is very important. So I think increasing the knowledge of the public about the bioeconomy. So, for example, one of the things that we do at Irish Bioeconomy Foundation and a number of stakeholders in Ireland that work within the bioeconomy is to do Bioeconomy Ireland Week, which is a week in October, every October, and this is a range of different events that promote the bioeconomy in Ireland to the general public. So, for example, we could have book readings in local libraries, which is focused on books on bioeconomy, such as What's Bioeconomy, which is a pop-up book for children to give them terms on the bioeconomy. I also think the feasibility of the bioeconomy for primary production is also important. So providing concrete examples about how the bioeconomy can be implemented within their own farms. An example of this is Farm Zero C, which is a zero carbon farm in Cork in Ireland, and they provide examples of what can be done on a dairy farm to reduce its carbon emissions. So I think that's
three things came into my mind. First is education for me as well. I think it's very, very important. But Kevin already mentioned this. Apart from it, to approach social economy, to check on the entropy law. Social economy I mentioned as the need to see profit not an end in itself, but a means towards green social goal, a more sustainable. I don't know if to say life. Okay, I'm finding a bit hard my words. And then the most important, I will say, is to check on biomimicry. This quite recent science that takes nature as a model, as a mentor, and as a measure.
Yeah, the same aspect as Kevin mentioned, education, because, for example, in the workshops that we did in here, where we found a lot of, people don't have any clue about bio-based products that can be made out of, especially textiles. It's very new for people, the term in itself. And another aspect that Anka as well mentioned, that I took part in the Bio-Rural App workshop validation on Tuesday, sorry. And a person from Moldavia, I think, mentioned about the straws in the rural area, that once they had a purpose for it, it gained a value. And it destabilizes a little bit the situation, the economic situation for the people in the villages. And I think that should be done taking in consideration everything. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, because as Katie said at the beginning of this moment, there are a request from the European Commission to work together. So there are many, we can see, possibilities to put together new innovative projects and to make the first steps in order to put together these two boards using the competencies that and all the job done in the past from the bioeconomy sector, and again what has been done in the textile sector, both from the industrial point of view, the research, but also our kind of award of association that try to find new horizontal, we can say, solution, co-creating with citizens, companies, especially SMEs. Because we in all our territories, but in Europe, the majority of the industry is built on SMEs. And SMEs sometimes, in particular in the clothing production, is totally cut out of innovation, machineries, also buying. They don't have the possibility to buy a lot of materials and so on. So they are very sensible, and when one of our tasks, I think, is to bring innovation at that level, in the way they can find a real value for them. And another thing I always thought about this is that we need to work on the educational side, but also educational for the customer, because the customer is the last step, but is totally like a leaves in the wind that follow what the global market wants, but there is a lot of potentiality work on them. And if there are any questions from the audience.
Not question, a suggestion, more.
Thank you.
As you know, in cooperation research project, especially dedicated to academic, we have one part of the activity which means dissemination. Actually, we have to disseminate the results for the large public or for scientific world. Maybe in the project you run as cluster on SMEs, maybe you have to introduce one activity, the dissemination to the large public. In aimed that customer or other category which are outside of your work to understand what you do and how you use this fund, not for cooperate, but also in the benefit of the public.
We had workshops even at the beginning of.
And you invite large public, or you invite some people like us?
No. We invited consumers, normal consumers that are a little bit keen on clothes, let's say, or they put an importance on clothes and they take care of them or things like that. So we invited them in a workshop to see what kind of fabrics they use, why they use it, which fabrics they like more.
This is a very good initiative. And
yes, we did that in the beginning, and then we presented them with the new fibers that are being developed, and yeah, this focus group.
Another possibility for you, I think that which is for free, so it not cost you. Every year, universities, they organize nights of research. And usually they organize these events in a mall, where it's a big, huge audience from all category, people, old person, normal person. I think that you have to be careful when it is organized such an event, and to have one section to present there some of your products, because and also the lady with a jacket from youth should be present with something, not too many scientific information, concrete things.
We went every year until now, since the project started, at the Romanian Creative Week, which is also like a very big event. And
it's better than Palace Mall because it's the palace itself.
It's the Palace of Culture, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we had a lot of participants there, which then they could see you saw in one of the photos earlier.
And another suggestion,
the fabrics were exposed there, and you could read about them, you could touch them.
Mm-hmm. Another suggestion is if you participate together with universities in projects, a research project or European project or project dedicated to SMEs cluster and so on. Also in dissemination events, when they organize conferences, try to push them to invite large public audience, not only students or some other professor. Ask them, because if you are working in a consortium, you are the benefits of the results of the project, not the university.
Yeah,
ask them to bring their public audience as much as possible, because this is the best way to have advertisement for you and in your benefit. So that's just a few suggestions.
Yeah, sorry, this is the kind of touches on both of the points that you just made there. I mentioned there previously about the Bioeconomy Ireland Week. So as part of that, the Bioorbic Research Centre, which is a research centre based in University College Dublin, about the bioeconomy, what they have done in previous years is something called Pint of Bioeconomy. And it's actually just in a pub, and they invite researchers, PhD students and postdocs, and to give a presentation about the research. But it's kind of in a fun and relaxed way, and it gives a good understanding of the research without going into too much technical issues of it. So yeah, that's worked in the past with us.
I want to suggest a scenario. Okay, so you have to bear with me a little bit to explain what's the idea. If you were to, I don't know, pitch some takeaways for policy making, for sustainable policy making, right? What should you, or what would you like for policy to take away from your project? So what's the lessons you learned that everybody else can benefit from? Should these lessons be incorporated in policy for sustainability? And there's 5 of you, and there's 5 approaches that you can take. You can actually describe something that you learn from your project. You can make prospective, you can make predictive information for this sustainable policy. You can make prospective and prescriptive submissions to this kind of policy, right? So in general, the Joint Research Center will actually collect this kind of inputs from projects and then submit it forward for policy development, right? So what have you learned based on your individual expertise from this project that could actually be helpful for the larger generation of this for this sector, or maybe even farther away? Is there something we can take away with us for sustainability for 2035 or maybe 2050? Thank you so much.
One thing that unfortunately it happens very often, especially in my region, is that there is a strategy and you start to working inside the strategy in order to fulfill this strategy, and you try to advance on research, on industrial research. You test it and so on, and then the policymaker change idea. So my first idea is hopefully if a region with their policymaker have a strategy for the region to be consistent and keep on working on that. So in this case, the results of the project, well, some of the results of the project can be taken further and can hopefully create an impact. Sometimes the first problem is that you take the results, some of them are very valuable, but they stay there. In the drawer, because they change idea, they change the, maybe not the idea, but change the strategy and so on. Also, European Commission did in this way. It happens to me in past project that there is a strategy, you work for 3-4 years, and then this strategy change completely, and so you have a lot of research and so on. So it is difficult to understand for the people on the grounds, but it happens. This is the first thing. The second is that from our point of view, as a sort of critic from our point of view, is that we have to improve the way we speak with policymaker, because it is every target we can see has there's way to speak. If we speak with students, if we speak to researchers, so we have to learn how to speak with policymaker and to engage with them during the project maybe, and not at the end of the project.
You identified a very important spot, a very important point, the fact that you need critical mass in order to advance some results. So basically, I understand that there is a fundamental need for global connected initiatives, right? You need to know who else is working in the same area, right? And what's their results in order to compare and to see what are the pluses and minuses, the benefits and the cons, right?
This is important, but it is also important to work deeply on the regional side, because in Europe, yes, we have to have always a look globally, but we have to work deeply on the regional side. So we have to connect the value chain and try to rebuild sometimes and valorize the value chain we have on our region.
So you are an advocate for local self-reliance?
It's part of the menu.
Okay.
It's part of the menu. It's not the solution with the capital letter, but it's, in my opinion, is part of the solution.
We, the organization I coordinate and my Bineredu, we are fortunate. We are in a region where a regional development agency is close to us. We have a direct contact and communication. They do organize these events where we are working in groups, and even when we did we worked together for the smart specialization strategy. Even now on every single topic, they are at our side here regionally, so that is a plus. They fight and lobby for all of us, in not only on textile sector, in agriculture, in all the sectors that they are, especially in the smart specialization strategy at the national and European level, as you said, so that they are at our side even in European projects, even in regional projects. So we are fortunate on that, but of course there are many challenges. Me anyway, being the one working to ensure the future, the sustainable future from all aspects of our teams, I don't have the expertise for policy, so this is why I'm saying that we are fortunate we have an agency like our Regional Development Agency at our side.
Nevertheless, you have a powerful voice in terms of application of optimization techniques.
True.
Right. So you are working hands-on for inventory management, optimization techniques, revenue management. You said you do that as well. You have operations management. You have operations research in your organization. So you're very focused on compact green innovation, and I love that about you. I hope you go on and pass it on to future generations, because I think that you're a champion, a regional champion. So thank you so much for your input.
Thank you as well. I just want to mention that Friday I turned 54. And I am working for the last 10 years to create the infrastructure that the young generation, in our companies, we are 3 generations of textile engineers. For the last 4 years now, we have a tech department with young, bright team, which I love and respect all of them. And I hope in 10 years' time, maybe earlier, if they don't prolong the retirement years, I hope this infrastructure will be taken over and developed further by this young generation that is in our organization. Thank you.
Ryan, can I have a question for you as well, please?
Sure, yeah.
How difficult is it to exploit particular issues with project management? I mean, in terms of sustainable operations management, machine learning, and data mining.
Yeah, thanks for that question. I haven't had any issues with it so far, thankfully.
Is it because you have a particular background in project management, or is it something that you need to acquire as a competence as you go?
Yeah, I suppose it's something I require as a competence. I've been in this role now since April 2020. My background is originally in microbiology, but I was just more interested in kind of environmental projects and European projects around bioeconomy. I think actual definitive project management skills is certainly something that I could definitely work on.
So you worked on these skills as you went. Did you have a background in the curriculum at the university, or you just navigated towards this domain yourself?
Yeah, so I study microbiology in college. You actually learn a lot of the aspects around bioeconomy, although when I was in university, the term itself wasn't actually taught. It's kind of something that I learned as I went, and yeah, so I've been in the role since April 2020, and I think on the job learning is some of the best that you can do, but there's definitely some better qualifications I could get in the project management side of things, but yeah.
So the skill part in terms of policy making should still be there, focusing on competence development and so forth. Even though you have a background in the science, you still need the social competences as well, right?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And yeah, actually the Bioeconomy Ireland Action Plan was released there. Like I mentioned about the Bioeconomy Ireland Week was released during that in October. And it's 7 pillars, and one of the main pillars is actually education and skills around the bioeconomy.
Yes, indeed. What about supply chain? Can the rest of the panel please help me? So how do you do sustainable supply chain management for your project? Or what kind of takeaways can you deliver from this side?
I was prepared to answer your first question on the policy,
Okay.
what I will ask. But maybe
Okay.
Elvis can answer to this one, and then I will get back to me. Maybe I can do
I think getting, I mean, how do we work? It's quite complicated actually, because we are all partners are one in Spain, one in Belgium, one in Germany, and sometimes it has to travel the fabric or the pattern. Some travel digitally, some travel by post. But more importantly, I think, is that we know each other. So that's from my point of view, it's really sustainable that we know each other very well, and we know our practices, and we know that we all aim, I don't know, to be sustainable somehow, and that's helping a lot the sustainability of the value chain, let's say, to get in good contact and to know the persons who you are collaborating with.
So basically, your philosophy is that sound and similar economic practices among the participants in the supply chains make it more sustainable in itself.
Yes, and that's something actually we also do here in Iași with our collaborators as well. We don't just buy stuff. I mean, we try not to just buy stuff from the internet, from people that we don't know. I mean, we always do research on that, on those aspects, and we.
Would it be enough to make that particular supply chain performant, though?
I don't think it's performant. I think it's just caring, yeah, just helping, or I mean, it's relevant from other point of view, not necessarily from an economic point of view.
Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome. And.
So now I will take again the consumer side.
Yes, sure.
But I would like to mention as well what I learned, because it was challenging and important, this question that you mentioned. I was involved in this project for a while as well. And one of the main lessons was the competition in the field. And that I knew it, I saw it in all these years with Redu, how hard it is, with all the opportunity costs we have to be financial, sustainable, we always struggle. And I was surprised, and I didn't expect that it's the same for most of the companies, if not all, that have other endeavors than the financial and profit-making ones.
Was it challenging to find your competitive edge?
I don't think we have one, apart from being, again, it's what Elvis just said. We are not economically competitive. It's impossible to be on this market. It's impossible to be on this world and how the global market currently works. So that's why, if I will have a magical wand and I will be able to propose a policy, I will make it first very vague, but then bear with me. Very vaguely put it, it will be to make illegal the environmental and social injustice. This is very vague, I know. But then one concrete instrument for that, still will take, it takes political will. I think we have all the information to introduce tags.
Sanctions?
No, tags.
Tags. Okay.
Tags on clothes that
Okay.
say the entire truth of that product.
I see.
Not only where it was produced, how the producer was paid, in what condition it worked, what was the impact on the environment, the CO2 produced not only through the transportation but to the production of the fibers, and so on and so on. It might sound idealistic or utopical, but it's something that can be done, and it can make a difference.
I would like to share with you my perspective. So I'm from taking your idea and distilling it from my own background. I would say that some producer would have been recycling textiles even before, and just cover the entire cost in order for them to be economically operative, right? But nowadays, your initiative may or may not increase prices because now they have an incentive to do so. Only putting a QR code or a tag that lists the entire road gives reasons for the producer to add another service to the final product, right? So they may or may not, but there is a possibility, there is a probability some of them may do that, right? So that's why we need policy to regulate. Thank you so much for having my scenario. Thank you.
So thank you again very much to the audience and the colleagues, and see you soon, especially the 13th of November. Follow us on TCBL Association and the Earware Project. Log in order to follow us and to receive all the information about our activity, our project, and so on. Thank you.
And just please RDA Nord-Est and Caneparo to stay to discuss about the next stages together. Thank you. Sorry.
Yes.